published 12:54 Eastern Standard Time, the 7th of January 2018, updated 16:56 Eastern Standard Time, the 7th of January 2018. No manager has lifted the FA Cup more than Arsene Wenger, and in recent years the famous old trophy has so often proved his salvation. When the Premier League title started to slide out of reach and the Champions League guarantee vanished, it always remained a trusty companion. Wenger has won it 7 times, including 3 in the last 4 seasons, but this a painful end to the romance on the banks of the River Trent. Nottingham Forest celebrate with Eric Lichaj after he gave them a surprise lead over the FA Cup holders. After 20 minutes, Lichaj needed to only connect with Kieran Dowell's free kick to guide the ball past Arsenal goalkeeper David Ospina. Lichaj regained the lead for Nottingham Forest with an incredible volley from 20 yards on the stroke of half-time. Ben Brereton of Nottingham Forest puts his side 2 goals ahead from the spot and send the City ground into raptures. Brereton celebrates scoring Nottingham Forest's 3rd goal with an affectionate Joe Worrell rewarding him with a kiss. Nottingham Forest's Kieran Dowell scored Nottingham Forest's 4th goal but appeared to kick the ball twice in the process. Arsenal players appealed to the referee, but Jonathan Moss points to the centre circle to signal Nottingham Forest's 4th goal. Arsenal captain Per Mertesacker looks dejected as his team crash out of the competition. They have won a record 13 times. Many times the Arsenal boss has rested his stars, used fringe players and blooded youngsters in the domestic cup competitions. Seldom, however, has he seen them blown away quite as comprehensively as this by a team from outside the top flight. And, for the first time in more than 21 years in the English football, Wenger tasted defeat in the FA Cup 3rd round. His team were simply unable to match Nottingham Forest for aggression, energy and desire. Forest led at half-time through 2 goals from fullback Eric Lichaj, added 2 penalties in the second half and survived the late dismissal of centre-half Joe Worrell. And experienced players such as David Ospina, Per Mertesacker, Mohamed Elneny, Danny Welbeck and Theo Walcott, most of them deployed down the spine of Arsenal's team, failed to get in any grip on the game. Wenger must have squirmed in his comfortable seat as he watched it unfold and returned to London with the jubilant taunts of the Forest fans in the stand around him still ringing in his ears. Nottingham Forest players have one final team talk in the centre of the pitch prior to kick-off at the City ground on Sunday. Arsene Wenger takes his place in the stands as part of a 3-game touchline ban with former assistant Pat Rice behind him. Theo Walcott fluffed an early chance to give Arsenal the lead after failing to properly connect with the ball when shooting. Nottingham Forest star Lichaj is left completely unmarked and nudges home a free kick to give his side the lead. Lichaj of Nottingham Forest celebrates his 1st goal of the game as his teammates run to join him during the first half. Mertesacker, left, brings Arsenal back on level terms with a well-taken strike within 3 minutes of the opening goal. The German defender celebrates a rare goal along with his fellow teammates to bring Arsenal back on level terms. Arsenal's second string performed feebly, lacking composure up front and vulnerable at the back as they conceded 4-2. A Forest side without a permanent manager and wallowing in the depths of the Championship. There was nothing for the manager to do but swallow his medicine, reference a demanding fixture list and his running battles with officialdom, and move briskly on to the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against Chelsea. Nottingham Forest and their caretaker manager Gary Brazil deserve to bask in the victory. Forest opened with terrific energy and lifted the home crowd as a young strike force caused problems with their pace and mobility. Teenage striker Ben Brereton was too much for centre-halves Mertesacker and Rob Holding. The Championship team took the lead midway through the first half with a close-range header by Lichaj from a free kick delivered from the Forest right by the excellent Kieran Dowell. The lead lasted only 3 minutes before an untidy equaliser was conceded from a free kick in a similar position on the Arsenal left. Walcott took the set-piece and his cross was headed against the post by Holding, and Mertesacker pounced to stab the rebound across the line. Arsenal goalkeeper Ospina is attended to by defender Mathieu Debuchy after he appears to dislocate his finger. Lichaj watches as his volley heads towards the Arsenal goal to give Nottingham Forest a 2-1 lead over the FA Cup holders. Lichaj, left, celebrates after scoring twice in a game for the first time in his professional career to give Forest a 2-1 lead. Alex Iwobi and Mertesacker react with disbelief as referee John Moss awards Nottingham Forest a penalty in the second half. Nottingham Forest's Ben Brereton scores their 3rd goal from the penalty spot with a well-placed effort into the right corner. Brereton celebrates scoring his side's 3rd goal of the game in front of the fans at the City ground on Sunday afternoon. Mertesacker lifted the trophy after a heroic defensive performances against Chelsea at Wembley in May, and his goal ought to have stabilised the tie for the holders. Instead, it was Forest who came again, seizing control in midfield and grabbing a crucial second before the interval. Matty Cash's cross from the right was flicked on by Brereton, and both Walcott and Holding missed opportunities to clear. Holding's header reached Lichaj on the edge of the penalty box, and the American fullback took it down on his chest before firing a sweet volley into the top corner. Having scored 4 goals in his previous 181 appearances, Lichaj suddenly had 2 goals inside half an hour and made a cheeky bid for a hat-trick when Forest were awarded a penalty for a trip by Holding on Cash. "My wife said if I score a hat-trick any time this season one would get a dog, so I was trying to get the penalty," said Lichaj afterwards. "I won't repeat what Ben said to me, but he told me no sorry." Debussy fouls former Arsenal player Armand Traoré in the box to give Nottingham Forest their second penalty of the match. Kieran Dowell appeared to kick the ball twice as he converted Nottingham Forest's second penalty and sealed the game. Arsenal goalkeeper Ospina appeals to the linesman after claiming Dowell kicked the ball twice in converting his penalty kick. Brereton converted with confidence to give Forest a 3-1 lead, and it was a goal the 18-year-old deserved for his direct and fearless approach. Welbeck pulled a goal back after a mistake by goalkeeper Jordan Smith, who appeared to have claimed the ball easily as he slid out at the Arsenal striker's feet. Somehow it slithered from his grasp and rolled to Welbeck, who gratefully side-footed a shot into an unguarded net, but renewed hope for the holders did not last long. Former Arsenal fullback Armand Traoré burst forward from left-back to be cut down from behind by Mathieu Debussy as he prepared to shoot. Again, Moss pointed to the spot. This time, it was Dowell who stepped up to sweep the ball high into the net. Forest celebrations were interrupted when referee Moss went to talk to an assistant amid protests from Arsenal players, but the goal was awarded and there was no way back for Wenger's team. Even a red card for Worrell for a midfield foul on Chuba Akpom failed to spoil a memorable result at the City ground. Mertesacker looks furious as he appeals to Jonathan Moss to rule out Nottingham Forest's SEONCD penalty for a double kick. Moss consults with his assistant referee on the 4th goal, scored by Dowell from the penalty spot, before awarding it. Dowell celebrates as the 4th goal for Nottingham Forest against the FA Cup holders Arsenal to seal a famous victory. Wenger looks dejected as he sits next to Jens Lehmann in the stands and watches Arsenal fall even further behind in the tie.